Hey there, I'm Joe Carter. If you've ever popped the hood and thought, where do I even start? You're in good company. Around here, we take the mystery out of car repair, one fix at a time. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to sharpen your skills, there's something here for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're into learning without the headaches. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get into it.
The main problem that reduces the effectiveness of braking is the locking of the wheels. In this case, traction is sharply reduced, after which the car loses controllability. Wheel lockup is especially dangerous during cornering, when driving on wet or slippery roads, or when using unevenly worn tires. An anti-lock braking system, ABS, allows you to maintain braking efficiency in all conditions. How the anti-lock braking system works. The basis of the system is a sensor that transmits information about the rotational speed of each wheel to the controller. In many vehicles, the ABS wheel sensor is also a speed sensor. The principle of operation of this device is based on the Hall effect, the change in the EMF, electromotive force, of an inductive coil when a piece of metal passes near it. The sensor is mounted on the back side of the wheel hub. It consists of a toothed gear and an inductance coil. When the wheel rotates, the gear teeth pass near the coil and produce EMF in the coil. The signals from the coil go to the control unit. If one of the sensors stops signaling, the controller signals the modulator valve block, which reduces the pressure in the brake line of the corresponding brake slave cylinder. The brake shoes are released until the sensor starts to signal again. The pressure is then increased again to increase braking efficiency. As soon as the wheel approaches the locking threshold again, the process is repeated. This process occurs even if 2 or 3 wheels are blocked, rather than just one. As a result, braking is jerky, with constantly changing pressure in the brake line of each wheel. There are up to 20 pressure increase-decrease cycles per second, causing some vehicles to feel like the brake pedal is shaking or jerking. Types of ABS. The following types of anti-lock braking systems are used on passenger cars, with a hydraulic pump and fully electronic control, with a brake master cylinder, booster pump and electromechanical control. The main difference between the various ABS systems is the way in which the brake fluid is pressurized. In a system with a hydraulic pump and fully electronic control, braking occurs by opening valves. When the brake pedal is depressed, its sensor detects the force, then transmits a signal to the controller, which in turn controls the operation of the valve block. When the supply valve opens, the fluid in the hydraulic accumulator under high pressure flows into the corresponding brake line. The harder, longer the valve is open, the more fluid flows into the line and therefore the higher the braking force. When the driver releases the brake pedal, the brake pedal sensor informs the controller, which sends a command to the valve block. The modulator completely closes the supply valve and opens the return valve. As a result, the fluid travels as follows: reservoir pump accumulator. The anti-lock braking system also exists in a simplified version. In this system, the main pressure is generated by the brake master cylinder, from which the fluid flows to the modulator. To provide pulsating braking, a booster pump is connected to the modulator, which maintains the set pressure at the inlet. Devices of this type are noticeably cheaper. Moreover, the braking system works even with the engine off and the battery removed. Failure of any element, except for the master and working cylinders, leads to a decrease in braking efficiency, but is not critical. If the controller or modulator of such an ABS is damaged, the brakes will work the same as on vehicles without it. How the anti-lock braking system is serviced. The most likely place for a broken circuit. The anti-lock braking system requires regular maintenance consisting of the following operations: replacing the brake fluid, checking the condition of the master and slave brake cylinders, check the modulator, pump check, brake pipes and hoses, check wheel sensors, check electrical wiring. Independent replacement of brake fluid is possible only on systems where pressure is created by the master cylinder. This operation is performed in the same way as on vehicles without ABS. Old fluid is drained, new fluid is poured in, then the whole system is pumped. On cars with vacuum brake booster, it is possible to repair working and master brake cylinders independently. On cars with electronic ABS for fluid replacement, system pumping or repair of separate units requires special expensive equipment. Therefore, such work should be entrusted only to a trusted car service. Faults of anti-lock brake system and their symptoms. All cars with ABS are equipped with means of self-diagnostics of the system. They allow to determine the serviceability of sensors, modulator, and controller. If a fault is detected, the self-diagnostic tools signal this by means of the ABS lamp. If the ABS lamp lights up, it is necessary to urgently take the car to a car service center for diagnosis. Otherwise, there is a high probability of loss of braking efficiency. If the ABS light is on, but the brake pedal works, the car brakes, you can perform initial diagnosis and minor repairs yourself. For this purpose, you will need a pit or an overpass. The most common fault is a breakage, oxidation, or departure of the signal wire from the wheel sensor. It is necessary to roll the car on an overpass or pit and carefully inspect all the wires that go to the wheel sensors. Perhaps one of the wires is frayed, torn, or pulled away from the sensor. In half of cases, by restoring the sensor controller circuit, it is possible to normalize the operation of the entire system. If the wires are intact and connected to the appropriate connectors, and the light does not go out, it is necessary to check how each wheel sensor is fixed and works. Are you familiar with the operation of devices that utilize the Hall effect? Then you can check the sensor with a voltmeter or oscilloscope. If you don't know how to do this, then you need to take the car to a service center. Diagnostics of modulator and controller or repair of ABS unit is possible only in car service, because expensive equipment and special preparation are necessary. Installation of anti-lock brake system. Self-installation of ABS is impossible, because its adjustment requires complex and expensive equipment. If you buy all parts of the system at the dismantling, 10 to 15,000 rubles will be enough. If you do not risk and install new parts, you will have to lay out 25 to 35,000. The cost of work depends on many factors and will be 10 to 20,000 rubles, because it will be necessary to replace all calipers and pads, connect the controller and modulator. Installation of ABS will seriously increase the controllability of the car on wet and slippery roads, as well as reduce the likelihood of skidding. Principle of ABS sensor malfunction. ABS light is on diagnostics of the ABS system. In conclusion, the anti-lock braking system plays a crucial role in enhancing vehicle safety and control during emergency braking situations. By preventing wheel lockup, this technology allows drivers to maintain steering control while significantly reducing stopping distances on slippery surfaces. Understanding how the anti-lock braking system operates can empower drivers to make informed decisions and respond effectively in critical moments. As automotive technology continues to evolve, the importance of systems like ABS in promoting safer roads cannot be overstated. Thank you for watching, and drive safely.